Live. Hey friends, how you doing? Ernie here. It is Thursday, June 18th. June 18th. It's a great day to be alive. It's a wonderful time to be alive. Get to witness all this going on. Anyways, title of the show is Bitcoin about to rip your face mask off. My own brand of technical analysis. There's some fundamental analysis going along with this too. Perhaps we can start by realizing one thing. And you know what? Weldopedia just stole my thunder. He said cryptos are completely dead without fiat, except for maybe the gold-backed cryptos, which I've recently taken a close look at. Yeah. Well, the first part, I don't know anything about the gold-backed cryptos. You know, why would you go for a gold-backed crypto when you can just go for gold? Makes no sense to me. But yes, they are completely dead without any kind of velocity of money. Without people making money, without any discretionary money, there's no reason to expect Bitcoin to go anywhere. Now, since the let's see, what was that? Since the bottom of this market back in March, Bitcoin has made a big bid. It's climbed up the wall of misery. Looked like it was going to break through 10,000, got all the crypto fanatics all wet and juicy. But it didn't. It just failed. And now it's starting to turn over, a very familiar pattern that we've seen many times before, this sort of climb up, holding on to a trend, then breaking that trend, rolling over. And then at some point, the whales are going to come in and they're just going to push this thing down, rip your face off along with it. That's where I see Bitcoin going right now. The other thing is if we look at it from a volume profile point of view, and I don't have a profile up here, but I'm going to get one. If you look at volume as it approaches these upper levels, you would think that as it gets higher, there would be more excitement, that there would be a greater involvement, more volume. But there isn't. There's actually less volume. And I'll show you that in just a second here. There we go. All right, off to the charts. And as we do, I want to make sure that you like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell. Thank you very much. All right, so here's my latest and greatest Bitcoin chart. Now, there's a couple of things that you can garner from this. And this isn't taking in all the data that I want to take in. I want to get in all of there we go. We got to get this in there too. Get it all in there. All right, anything above 10,000 is a non-starter. Look at the fall off in volume up here, including these areas. I mean, you would think that we would have a substantial volume node up there, but we don't. It tries to break 10,000 and we fall off a cliff. There is no value up there from a whale's perspective, I guess, because they're really the only people that can move this market. Now, if we look at recent price action, we can see that we've broken through this trend line, clear trend line. We've come back up and we've retested it. And this has happened many times before. It happened here back in November and December, where we broke through that trend line, retested it, and then dropped down. This has happened many times. It's happened in this case, in this little mini bubble. Although I would call that a bubble, I wouldn't characterize that the same way. But there are many, many other instances where this has happened in maybe smaller scale. So I see us stepping down in big fashion, perhaps going and visiting each one of these nodes, first at 8,600, and then down to 7,900, and then down to 7,200, and then finally down to 6,400 or so. With reckless abandon and much pain. Because we love pain. Okay, now back to the big head. Gotta be careful with that. Anyways, where was I? Getting all these distractions. Let's see what the chatter is about here. We'll bring the pop out chat over here. Read, see what you guys have to say. All Live says it's completely dead without the Fed typing numbers in their computer to create more money currency out of thin air. High voltage. All right. High tea time. A cool new overlay there. Yes. What about us breaking the multi-year trend, though, Ernie? What at around 10K? What? How is this a multi-year trend? That isn't going to be easy, and possibly why we have been getting rejected around 10K frequently. Now, the reason why we're getting rejected at 10K is that the market, the collective number of people that are invested in Bitcoin, do not find any value there. If there were value, there would be more volume up there. We would have established that volume. We had two chances, 2 times where we've substantially gone above 10K and done nothing. The volume at those levels was anemic. See, fluctuating between 5 and 10K for a while. Well, I've been saying fluctuating between 6 and 4K for a long time, and I think that is actually where the meat is. Alex says TA consolidation under resistance is bullish. Whatever. Also, TA consolidation under resistance is bearish. You sound like a Bloomberg story, right? In the morning they'll say oil up because oil rigs have come offline, and then later it will say something like, in the afternoon they'll say something like, oil seen to come down because oil rigs are coming offline. Johnny says, not enough doom and gloom. How much more doom and gloom do we need? Seriously. We have a pandemic. Much of the country is still not back to work. We're in a dire situation where there's 20, maybe 30 million people that had jobs just a few months ago that are jobless. How much more pain are we supposed to endure? We have race riots going. We have all this stuff, and yet that is not enough for people to say, hey, maybe we should start looking at Bitcoin as opposed to some fiat, because it makes us feel so much better. Because it's so much safer to be in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, controlled by China. Last month closed at 9,400. We're still here. No value no value to be had here, in your opinion. It's not my opinion. It's the volume itself. I mean, when you look at the volume, anything above actually 9,800, it just falls off dramatically. Above 9,800, falls off a cliff. Nothing. Just nothing. They found a bug in Ethereum. It's leaking money and losing its state. Well, Ethereum has had security risks that have been well known for a long time. And why anybody would build a company around that is beyond me. Did you hear that Bolton, in his book, said Trump ordered his cabinet to go after Bitcoin? Bolton, his book reads like what I would call revenge porn. Bolton is a woman scorned. All Bolton wanted to do was go to war. Why Trump ever chose him in the first place is beyond me. But I think that had more to do with the other people that he had in there, the deep staters, that he thought if he kept them close, he could keep an eye on him when he was. That was really a bad choice on Trump's part. Do you know the diamond bottom pattern? Well, there's both a diamond bottom and a diamond top pattern. But I don't see that pattern right now. All right. So Ali wants me to look at the monthly or the weekly so that I can maybe squint my eyes, make them all fuzzy, and then see this diamond pattern that's portending a huge move up. All right. So we're going to go to the weekly. No, I don't see it. Don't see it. Don't see it at all. Sorry. Coach, if you held equal amounts in Bitcoin and Ethereum and had to sell one, which would it be? I would sell the Ethereum. I would sell the Ethereum because, well, first of all, Ethereum is nothing more than a conglomeration of shitcoins. Just shit businesses that are all stacking themselves up, pretending that they actually have a business case. And so it's built on it's literally built on a house of cards. Well, literally, literal is not the right word, but it is built on a house of cards, figuratively. I used to be a big Bitcoin advocate, says Steve King, but all crypto is mostly dead, relegated to a few diehard traders that just take money from each other. That's all it is. All right, now Ali wants me to look at the monthly. All right, I'll look at the monthly, and I'll tell you what I see. I'll tell you if I see a diamond pattern. Let's see fucking no diamond fucking pattern. I really, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. There is no fucking diamond pattern. You're making it up. Alex says, until now, blockchain has not proven to add real value that database can't. Maybe in 2025, there would be some real application for it. Well, I think that comparing blockchain to another type of database would be unfair because really what blockchain is a more like a software structure or construct. It is a linked list, an immutable linked list. Now, one could make the argument that you can store data in that, and you can store data in just about any list. But a database is typically relational. In other words, it has a whole number of related sets that all have some kind of relation to one another. The only thing blockchains are just plain old stupid and slow and bulky and non-performant. Now, I understand that you can make things performant. For instance, you can go to a DAG, and a DAG is a special type of blockchain. It is more like a relational database of blockchains. And so, from that perspective, I agree, and that's something that actually Hashgraph is built on top of. But I still don't see the point. This whole idea of decentralization, it's a non-starter. In order to have decentralization and work in an economy where there's competition, you would have to get all the people who are competing against each other and decide that, hey, let's all go in on this one thing because it's all going to make us better. Better at what? Better so I can beat you or beat the other guy? No, we'll all rise together. In what world do you imagine a business making that decision? Check my Discord. Oh, geez. Do I have to? Do I have to? That is the poorest excuse for a diamond I've ever seen. That's just made up. I could do that on any chart. Any fucking chart. Sorry. Sorry for being so direct, but you're just wrong. and I'm glad that I've helped you, but I'm just telling you, you're seeing something that just isn't there. It means nothing. I could literally draw that same diagram on almost any chart. I mean, it's kind of like Elliott waves, right? And I'm sure that some of you are also Elliott wave fans. But Elliott wave is designed so that it can be curve fit to anything. This is why you get different Elliotticians looking at the same chart, right? The same price chart. And they'll all come up with 1,000 different Elliott wave patterns. Because no one can decide where A starts, B starts, or the one wave, two wave, three wave. No one can decide which is which, and whether or not, oh, maybe we have to go into a diagonal now. It's such bullshit. Do I own any Hashgraph? No, I do not. I am completely shitcoinless. I need Bitcoin Bob again in the back. He is back there. He's on the other side of this tent. He is back there. I'll tell you what, I'll give him a good beating for you. In your assessment, how violent would the drop down to the level you've mentioned be? Bouncing between the nodes, bleeding slowly? No, I see big drops. Drop, drop, drop. Now the question is, will it be 2 drops, 3 drops, or 5 drops. I don't know. USD is a shit coin. There's an argument that can be made that all fiat is shit coins, including the United States dollar. The thing is, though, it is the best shit coin on the planet. All right, so everything's relative. Everybody wants the US dollar. Everyone sees value in the US dollar, and you can't deny that. From a structural point of view, from a theoretical point of view, the whole idea of debt-based fiat is just fucking insane. However, it is the best fucking insane that we have. Well, the tents are going fine. It's what's inside the tents that matter. Will the news unit get here, please? I haven't talked to Dave, the news unit, for quite some time, so I really don't know how it's going with him. How about the euro? What about the euro? The euro, people in Europe want the dollar. The euro needs the dollar. Yeah, Bitcoin Bob is smoking a bong back there. Yeah, Bitcoin Bob doesn't say a lot. How do you see the dollar dying, if ever? Well, I think the only way the dollar is going to die is if we have a complete systemic breakdown. And you wonder, well, what else could be a possible complete systemic breakdown other than what we just experienced? And yet the dollar just hung on there, no problem. Stayed pretty stable, as a matter of fact, through all of this. Wave two. So they say that there's going to be a wave two. You know, what I'm really waiting for are the Trump rallies. When they have it, that they've tried to, the Democrats have filed a lawsuit against him holding these rallies. So we had the demonstrations, the quote peaceful protesters, and their friends, the violent rioters. They were out there, shoulder to shoulder. Are they all going to come down with coronavirus? Is there going to be a second wave due to that? There's my wife had sent me a page from the CDC, the coronavirus page, the COVID-19 page, showing all the stats. And there's quite a few stats there, and they break it down by demographic and so forth, race, gender, etc. But mostly they talk about cases, and they don't really break it down or show you in any substantive way how many deaths there are by age. The only way to find that out is you have to go and dig deep, put all the data together, and then go from there. And what you'll find out when you see death by age is that the vast majority of deaths from coronavirus are above 70 years old and up. And I'm talking about, 70, 80% of all the deaths are attributed to people who are 70 and up and or have pre-existing conditions that weaken or dramatically weaken their immune system. So I'm looking at your diamond. You can put it up there as much as you want, but it still does not comport. First of all, there's no way to show a diamond over 3 years. Just doesn't happen. Just just not there. Sorry, just not there. You can think that it's there, but it's not there. Left is against Trump rallies due to COVID. Right is against protests due to COVID. Yeah, pretty much it. Please share your views on the stable coins. Why? Why are you so enamored with crypto? It's going nowhere. It has no future, except for in absolute fringe cases. If you spent half of that energy, perhaps, joining my Asymmetric Advisor Club membership, where we talk about natural resources, the things that you pull out of the ground, the basic raw materials that build everything in our lives, and look at the producers of, that pull that stuff out of the ground. That is real. That is real. That is visceral. That is part of everything that we do. That is worthy of research and investment. A shitcoin or a stable coin is not. I just don't get it. Looking for some kind of panacea, some quick way to your, nirvana. It's just not going to happen. Let's see. Too much politics and money attached to COVID data. It's all politics. Are you kidding? Antifa is a political organization. Black Lives Matter, 100% a political wing of the Democrat Party. And some can make the case that Antifa is kind of a mercenary for the Democrat Party. That's not even a question. When we look at rioters, what they should be calling them is Democrat rioters. When we look at protesters, they're largely, I'd say, 90% Democrat. So, to say that this pandemic is not political, it absolutely is. Absolutely is. You can't believe crypto is actually going nowhere, Coach, can you? It's a new system. Okay, here's sarcasm. It's a new system that recreates the old system and allows the BS to continue digitally now. I knew that was turning into sarcasm before I even read the rest of it. Ernie reminds me of the rifleman just shooting people down. The Rifleman. Yeah, that was a great show. It was one of my favorite. I used to watch it when I was a kid. Stop focusing on stupid crypto. Focus on my uranium punt plays. I don't know what that means. But the uranium thing is not a punt. That's it's a royalty company. They have really no overhead. I'm not going to really talk about it in any detail here because it's outside of the club. But where I agree that uranium, probably of all the natural resources, probably has the most risk associated with it, and this is the reason why. Even though it is a strategic metal for us, a strategic resource in the United States, the vast majority of the producers of uranium are with non-swap line nations, and that presents a huge risk for us. So that's why I haven't really touched it that heavily. And we're taking this one little swipe at this uranium play. So I'm not too excited about it because of its swap line status. Um, Hayseed says that Bitcoin moons every 4 years. Will it moon in 15 months? Your guess is as good as mine, but maybe, I don't know who's on that schedule, if it's a natural thing or anything, but they thought that when when the halving came, that price would just start going nuts, but none of that happened. Trump should hold the rally outside and he'd still fill the stadium. Yeah, and there's plenty of open air stadiums. I think that's a really good idea. Not that I think that would make any difference. Because you do know that the WHO, the World Health Organization, mistakenly put out in a press release through a study that they had done that transmission amongst asymptomatic people is extremely rare. Then they had to back that off because they realized by saying or speaking the truth that would ruin their narrative. They're scare the shit out of your narrative. Yes, Chuck Connors is the rifleman. Did you know that Chuck Connors, before he became an actor, played for the Boston Celtics? There's a bit of trivia for you. Let's face it, trading silver and uranium is just as degenerate as trading crypto. I disagree with that. First of all, we don't trade silver or uranium. We don't even trade gold in the Asymmetric Advisor. What we do is we research the producers, the miners, the royalty companies. That's where the real money is. That's where the real action is. The miners of even other types of precious metals or industrial metals or minerals. That's where the real money is. And that's what led the way since March 23rd. More than anything else, were gold miners. The World Hell Organization. Yeah. Lots of great euphemisms like that. The longer a trend continues, the lesser the chance for it to continue. What? Where? You just made that up, Gareth. The longer a trend continues, the less the chance it can. No. First of all, it depends on what time frame you're in. How about the trend of the market? The market has continuously gone up for 150 years. Right? Is it no longer going to go up? Historical data shows after each halving, it rises slowly months after, then pops up big time sometime down the road to sustain the mining costs. But see, now the mining costs, I think, are overshadowing its ability to grow. Oh, yeah, the halving trend. The mining cost is growing beyond, unless they change the technology. The mining cost is just way too great for the reward that they get now. Yeah, it's just not there. So one thing I want to point out, this weekend I have a webinar, and you can sign up for it down below. It's at the asymmetricadvisor.com/webinar. You register for that webinar, and I have some really fantastic things to talk about there. You'll now I'm doing this all this month, and normally this is just a private webinar just for the Asymmetric Advisor members. But I'm inviting the public in so that you can see what we're about. There will be actionable information there. You will also have a chance, if you decide to join the Asymmetric Advisor, to win this $800 chunk of worthless silver. And if you join, the first 20 people who join, actually now it's down to 15 because 5 of these coins are spoken for. For the next 15 people that join, you'll each get one of these and a chance to win that $800 piece of silver. All right. I'm done here. I think I don't know what other argument to make. I can't think of any positive arguments. The biggest one was said early on when Weldopedia said cryptos are completely dead without fiat. And that's what it really comes down to. While there are not enough people to feed the trough, while there are not enough people to feed the Ponzi scheme, Bitcoin dies on the vine. Bitcoin dies on the vine if it cannot continue to grow. That's it. That's what it's all about. All right? I want to thank you very much for showing up today. Got to find the off button. Yeah, thank you very much for showing up today. Please give this video a thumbs up. Go down below. Click on and register for the webinar this Saturday. Like I said, there will be actionable information there. Plus, I'm going to announce a very special service. And primarily this service, I was thinking for just asymmetric advisors. But now I'm thinking that this could be a more generalized service. And it's going to be very similar to something that I did a long time ago that was very successful. Had this service going for almost 3 years, and it was very, very cool. So I'm going to bring something like that back. It's going to involve options and natural resources. So yeah, come to the webinar. It'll be a good time. And like I said, if you join, you get a chance of winning this. And that's a 1 in 15, well, actually, a 1 in 20 chance. A 1 in 20 chance to win $800 worth of silver. It's the year of the dog coin. 2006. Look it up. Half a kilo. Heavy as all fuck. All right. Here we go. Thank you very much. Hope you all have a great day. Talk to you later.